Welcome to another NARIMI video. If you don't know, NARIMI is a Chinese makeup brand, or is it Chinese? I think it is Chinese. And NARIMI is actually a blogger, or like, not really an Instagrammer, but she's like a beauty influencer and she has her own brand. I have already done a NARIMI review with other palettes and she just came out with a new collection. And out of that new collection, I actually grabbed 3 different palettes plus one of the previous collection that I will incorporate in this video too, because in the other video I didn't have this. So the palette from the previous collection that you will see in action is the blue Twilight Dawn. It tickled me when I saw it on the Look Healthy store website, but I didn't grab it immediately. But then I saw it more and I wanted, I need to have this. From the new collection, I grabbed Sakata. This is her very first all matte palette. This one you will not see in action in this video, but in the outro I will show you swatches of this so you can see it, because I incorporated this in the Cleonad video in the first one and I have no clue in what order they are going to be uploaded. Then what I'm wearing on my eye is the Exotic Sheep. Very interesting color story. And the other one that I have is Night Spider. Can we talk about that art of work here on top? It's so pretty. And this is what it looks inside. If you want to get any of these NARIMI palettes or any other Asian, Chinese, whatever makeup items, make sure you check out Look Healthy store, and with my code ELLAGRAM you can save 12%. It's an affiliate code. If you use it, you save money. I get a commission. And without any long intro, let's head into the looks, because we have 3 upcoming looks plus a longer outro where I can talk about the Sakata palette. And I can already tell you, once I'm done with all the looks, once I made my opinion on those, you will see in the near future a ranking video of all my NARIMI palettes. I think I have then 7 or 8, so it's a good amount to finally rank them if you're unsure what to get. So let's go. So the first look in this video is going to be with the new Exotic Sheep palette. This is, first of all, that work of art. I love the NARIMI palettes that are just banging it with the art. Like, not alone the art, everything else is good too, but the art is the thing that catches you first. And I just love this half skull vibe. She has like a lollipop in her hand, the hair is wired, there is a sheep. On the back we have 3 sheeps who are like circling and doing things. I have no clue. I love everything about this, and the inside is 100% not what you expect to see on the outside. Maybe aside a bit of a purple vibe. This is such a wild color story that in the beginning I was really not sure if I want to have this, but then I caved in and now we're here. And before I start the look, let's talk about the swatches. So here you have a swatch video, and the swatches are very interesting. First of all, I want to say that the shade Faith, which is this barely invisible glitchy light shade next to that purple, that one came broken. That one was like decompressed in the pan, like there was like, I don't know, like 3 or 4 millimeters blank in the pan, and it was all shrunken down. And I don't know if it was because of the flight, I have no clue, but I was able to basically just press it down and then fill in the complete pan. And this, as well as Froth, so the second shimmer, is very squishy. These are flaky, squishy shades. The shade Goat's Eye, which is that blue shimmery, is also a bit squishy, but not as flaky. The mattes, as you can see, super opaque. And let me tell you, these mattes are one swipe swatches. These are not built up. The shimmers are a bit built up, but the mattes are not. And I honestly have no clue what I'm going to do with this palette, with this color story, because it is borderline wild. And this ad of this peach shade makes me so confused, but it's a challenge. So let's tackle the challenge, should we? And no matter what you do, be careful with NARIMI shades, because they are fucking intense, as you saw on the swatches. So I go into Wool now with my brush. This is one tap. There is a lot of kickback, a lot of like powder thing going on, but they are fucking pigmented and they blend like a dream. So I apply wool here in the crease, but I also blend it slightly up into the transition area. I dab now in a second time and look at this bright neon lilac pink. Oh my god. I feel like I'm glowing in the dark. If I would turn down all the lights, I'm pretty sure that my eyes are still glowing. And I hope you can see here in the very, very close up of the palette how much powder kickback is in there. Personally, I'm not bothered by this because, again, it makes them blend super easy, although they are very pigmented. I now take a small brush and I go into Illusion. And that one, I start to blend on that inner crease part. I highly recommend when you use them, do the classic tap off because that saves lives. And with another small brush, I go into Anomalies and I apply this here on the outer crease part and outer V area. And then I bring it in to touch that other shade, Illusion it was. I dipped in again into Anomalies to just build up the color a bit more. And as you can see, they layer friggin' well. It is actually a pleasure to work with these. I'm starting now with Goat's Eye. You see the flakiness? It's small flakes, but it's flaky. Goat's Eye, I tap on here on the outer part of the lid and bring it to the center. As per usual, I applied glitter glue. I now go into Froth, and that is also super duper flaky. This is actually worse than Adept Cosmetics Minka Flaky. So here I have a close-up of that one. Also, not very beginner friendly, so what I do with shades like this, I carefully tap them on where I kind of want to have them, and then I just start to rub them in to break the flakes and to release the pigment. It's definitely not the easiest way, and sometimes they kind of gunk up. And this is the type of eyeshadow that then just starts to break on your eye. That is kind of crackling up like the crackling nail polish that we had in the 2000. This is the equivalent to that for your eyes. I can already see it crackling up on my eye. Oh, I hate that. Maybe I have to treat them like the Danessa Myricks Chrome Flakes. Those you also do not swipe on, you tap them on. They are supposed to look cracked up. Maybe that is the right way to work with them. I don't know. I'm rambling in this tutorial a lot, so please don't mind that. Editing me is going to be very happy that I have to edit so much text. Yeah, it already breaks up on the eye. I guess if you have a problem with creasing and very oily lids, this is not going to make you happy. As if this look is not pastel loud enough, I line my waterline now with the Colourpop BFF Cream Tail Liner in the shade Amethyst Hour. I now go into Anomalies again, and I very, very close to the lash line apply this, but this time not all the way through, just to the center of the eye. Now I take a super small pencil brush and I go into Phantom. That one I start to apply here on the inner. Do you see that? I had from this motion fallout flying to my nose. Oh my god. But I apply this now on the rest and then I blend it here on top. Since I already powdered my under eyes, I just pressed and swiped a bit back with a powder puff on top. So I took off that powder shade. But I want to build that up a bit more. Like so. Oh yeah, that's pretty. The sad thing is I really don't know how to incorporate the Chaos shade. Probably shouldn't have done Phantom, maybe Chaos and Blue, because color story wise, it matches, but I don't know how to incorporate it in this look. Now I'm using Faith, also very, very flaky, just like Froth. And that one I apply as inner corner highlight. And here we have the finished first look. For lips, I lined my lips with MAC Stripped Down Lip Liner. I blended it in a bit and then I topped it off with the Makeup by Mario Moisture Glow thingies in the shade Nude Glow. You know me, I'm not a pastel girl, but this is a vibe of pastel that I can totally live with, especially since you have something to deepen everything up. If this was a bigger palette, like not only 8 pan, let's say this was a 12 pan or a 16 pan palette, I would even love if every single shade in here would have a darker companion. A bit like Sickly Sweet from Land Bunny did it with her pastel palette in this case, that you have like complementary dark shades in there. That would be super awesome, but for an 8 pan pastel palette, I like that. I just want to report that this inner corner thing here, the shade Froth, was it Froth? Yes. That one totally broke off. I don't know if I can showcase this in a photo. If so, I will insert it here. If not, I will just have pointed to an empty piece of wall now. But it definitely looks a bit weird and not really nice. So let's head over now to look number 2 with palette number 2. For look number 2, we're now tackling the Night Spider palette. I have a sticker with the like translated name here on the back, and I'm not really sure if the translation is right because I saw different names, but on the Look Healthy Store website, it is called Night Spider, so I go with this. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Same as with the Exotic Sheep palette for the last look. There is just this one shade that, in my opinion, does not make a lot of sense in this palette. And this time it's the shade Giddy, because this bright green, but I do want to incorporate this. Honestly, just from looking at it, I don't know how it will perform on the eyes. I don't know what look I'm rolling here in, but just from looking at it, that's more exciting. And when we take a look at the swatches over here, oh boy, again, these mattes, one swipe swatches, the shimmers so much better than an Exotic Sheep. They are not flaky, they are not this weird crackling texture. Aside from Tuberose, that last shimmer here, I don't know how the camera captured this shade, but I see it quite invisible based, but with a beautiful blue shift going on. That is a bit on the flaky side, but not as bad as Faith and Froth from the Exotic Sheep. So without any more rambling, let's head into a look with this. I'm starting with Scabish, and I start to apply this in the inner half of the crease, but I also slightly blend that up as transition color. Next up, I tap into Spiderweb, and that one I apply on that last part, or like the remaining part of the crease, and I also push it up into the transition area. And to mix them both together, I just slightly swipe back and forth here where both meet. Very simple. Next up, I go into Petal, and I tap this here on the outer V area. Then I just blend it out like, you know, that winged shape thing. But I also bring this here in that most outer crease part. I just want to have a bit of darkness, but I do not want to cover that bluish shade. I don't really like how the borders look, so I now tap into Sakata. And I use this Veil shade because this is just a skin tone color, kind of. But I tap off the majority, you know, they're very potent. And I swipe that along the most outer parts for just a soft blend. You can use a face powder for that, a translucent or a your skin color colored powder. Does that make sense? I hope it does. But since I have Sakata here and I just incorporate this in other looks and not in this video separately, I thought let's just pull this in for some blending help. Of course, I need to go into Black Widow here. How beautiful is the shade, you ask? Very much. And that one I apply here on the most outer part. And then I very softly tap it out towards the center. But the most opaque color I want to have on the other half. So pretty. Next up, I go into Eardrop, which is quite a disgusting name because I don't know what eardrop exactly is, and I'm too lazy at 6 a.m. to Google it, but in my imagination, it is a droplet of internal moisture that's dripping out of your ear. Is that correct? I don't know. But this shade goes now on the rest of the lid. That would pair so well with the neon green and the dark swamp green. Ooh. And to mix them together, I just tap here on top of the Black Widow shade. For low lash line, I'm using the Colourpop BFF Cream Liner in the shade Outer Space. Or no, wait, I take another one. Since I want to incorporate the two greens from that palette, let me take the About Face Line Artist in the shade Call Me Crazy. This is a greenish tealy color, and I use that one in the waterline. Now I tap into Venom, and I start to smudge this on the outer part of my lower lash line, blend that into the upper crease part and bring it into the center, but I'm leaving the inner third bare because now I go into Giddy, and that one I start to blend here on the inner part. And I also blend this underneath Venom. Now I go into Tuberose. That is again more flaky, but that one goes into the inner corner. Very unexpected because in the pan it looks quite green, but it shifts to purple, or it looks blue, bluish green, teal, something like that, aqua. But as said, here applied, it shifts very, very purple. I'm not mad about this, don't get me wrong. This is now the finished look. For lips, I used the Natasha Denona My Dream Lip Liner and topped it off with the matching gloss. And I just realized I, of course, forgot the brow bone highlight, and I'm using Tuberose for that again. The mattes in this one, incredible as in the first one, incredible just as in the other ones that I own, so there is nothing to complain about. The shimmers I like in this one much, much more. They are better in quality, they're better in application, they just look so much better. Tuberose, flaky, yes, but not as flaky as the ones in the Exotic Sheeps. So, this was now the last of the new ones that I will be incorporating because the next look is going to be with Blue Twilight Dawn from the previous collection. And then in the outro, don't forget, you see the Sakata palette. Let's take a last look of the video, and this is with the Blue Twilight Dawn palette. This is not from the newest collection that had 4 or 5 releases. No, I think it is 4 palettes because I got 3 out of them. 4. Yes, okay, it must be 4. I have no clue, but this is an older one that is luckily still available because I had my eye on this palette when I first ordered NARIMI stuff, but I didn't get it because it was like, But here we are, sitting now. Let's talk about the swatches. They are fucking insane. Like, I don't think I have to explain any furthermore how amazing these mattes are, but the 2 shimmers in this palette, they are banging the shit out of me. That super shifty shade is called Fairy, and I don't know if the camera is really doing its justice. I don't think it does, because in real life, when I just look at the shade here, this has a shift from silver to green to teal to aqua to lime to lemon to gold to... This is so dimensional, I want to lick it. And the Genie shade is of course also very pretty. But I love the mix in this palette that is with the blue hues and the blue shades, and then this burgundy oxbloody brownish red inside. I love that. So I don't know what I will do with this palette now on the eyes, but I'm sure it will be great. I'm starting with the shade Rips, and that one I apply as transition color, very, very light pink. Now I'm going into Heal, and I blend this on the inner crease. And I basically just keep on blending towards the center. I now go into Twilight, and that one now goes into the crease, starting here on the outer part, I bring it down to the outer lash line, and then I blend it towards the center, but they do not have to meet because I will use another matte. Now I go into Klein. I don't know if this is on purpose, but Klein is the German word for small. Is there also an English word that is called Klein and has a meaning? I don't care. But I apply this here where both shades basically meet, and then I just wiggle it towards the heel shade and outwards to Twilight. And I also use this to slightly go into the transition area. And then I go over that also with the Rips shade again, with that light pink. I now go into Genie, and that one I apply on the lids, starting here on the most outer part. And I bring it up to the point where the reddish shade starts. What a fucking pretty shade is this? Now I go into Fairy. This looks so reflective here on the brush. It is insane. And that one I apply here on the rest of the lid. Very precise, doing a line. Here's like a fake cut crease moment. And where both shades meet, I just swipe it here on top. And then I wiggle a bit here across the line so that I just mix them together without a harsh line between both of those shades. So I line the lower waterline with Urban Decay's 24/7 pencil in the shade Mainline, and I just draw the line. Here I would love to have now a multi-chrome liner that shifts from red to blue. That would be amazing. I now go into Twilight again, and I smudge Twilight very, very precise and close to the lash line, up to the center of my eye. I then go into Heal again, but I apply Heal on the inner part of my lower lash line, also very precise, and then I just smear it in the center. This has a ton of fallout. I completely blued my cheek here. Usually I don't struggle so much with fallout on the lower lash line, but these shades especially, or only NARIMI shades, they were so powdery that they kind of are a bit harder to use. I now go into Lamp. That one I start to smudge underneath the blue, but I also bring this under the heel shade, the red one. I go into Fairy again, and I apply this here on my inner corner, and then I connect it also with the lid. And this is now the finished look with the, I forgot the name, the Blue Twilight Dawn. I always want to say Twilight Blue Dawn or something like that, or just Twilight Dawn. I love that look, and I really cannot put my finger on the decision which look is my fave. This or the Night Spider. I think I can agree with myself and with you, and you with me, that Exotic Sheep is just not for me because of the pastels. And if I had to rank my NARIMI palettes right now, Exotic Sheep would be in the last place. And for lips in this look, I used MAC Stone lip liner, and then I applied the Made by Mitchell Mattitude lipstick in the shade Nude Rinse in the center, blended it in to get the classic matte darker lip line thing. And before I end the video, I promised you to swatch the Sakata palette. You saw that I incorporated it in one look, but since this is a very basic all matte palette, I think it would be a bit too much to center a look around this. To me, and this was also the intention why I bought this is 100% a companion palette that I see myself grabbing a lot. And since I swatched them now live with you, you can see how intense these are with one swipe and no build up. So we have Ebony and Formicary. By the way, please don't mind my nails. I just had to take them off. I do use nail stickers, UV nail stickers, and I had to take them off, and they always look like shit the day afterwards. And this nail here that looks like I have dirt underneath is stained blue because of a swatching session. So please don't think that I have dirty fingers. I have stained nails. So next up we have Dust, Daytime, and Sakata. Look at these beautiful mattes. Oh my god. I swear to you, if I didn't know that these were powders, I would think these are creams because they go on like super matte liquids or super matte creams. It's so weird. And then we have veil, blade, belly ring, and earrings. And I don't know if you were able to see this, but there was like a powder rain down on my trousers and they are now full of eyeshadow because this formulation is, as you see, it's fucking intense, but it's kind of dry. And dry to a level that when you swatch them, there are like little flakes of powder breaking out of the surface. As if they are swatched, not swatched, as if they are pressed in layers. You know, they did one layer, let it dry, press it down, another layer, dry, press it down, and so on and so on. And you kind of feel these layers come apart when you swatch them. With a brush, I don't have that. There is no like flakes coming off with the brush. It's more so that there is a lot of kickback, and as you saw in the tutorials, a lot of fallout in some cases. But to be honest, I can totally look past that because of this performance, because of this, how it is, because of this, you know? It is like, do I want to go full on and say my favorite matte formulation? I have to think about that. That is maybe something I can decide by the end of the year when I also tried the rest of my pile of shame shit. But if we just look at Asian beauty brands, I don't think this, is this my favorite? That's really hard to say. It's one of the best. It's one of the best in general. I don't know what exactly it is that NARIMI put in her eyeshadow palettes in the formulation of the mattes, but I have in all the palettes that I own, no matter if mainstream brands, indie brands, or Asian indie brands, I have never seen a performance, a quality, a feel of application like NARIMI has. It sounds insane, I know it is, but believe me, it's true. And I think I can now end the video by saying that NARIMI is just a very, very impressive brand, and no matter if you are someone who is more leaning towards very, very neutral, soft tones, like for example in Sakata, maybe you like something more intense, something more loud, and I don't want to say that this is a gothic-y color story, definitely not. Her Fireflies in the Dark is way more gothic-y. I think the blue Twilight Dawn, no, it's this one, that is also way more gothic-y. You will find something. You will also find these beautiful pastels, and not gonna lie, this is a beautiful pastel color story, but it's at the end of the day a pastel color story, and I don't like pastels that much, but the way these pastels are executed, fantastic. If I have to rank now the palettes just from this video, Blue Twilight Dawn is definitely my fave. Night Spider is next. Number 3, Sakata, and the least favorite is Exotic Sheep, just for the fact that these are pastels. And I want to point out once more, these shimmers, super flaky. Not my favorite type of formulation. Doable, manageable, workable, but it takes work. It takes patience, and it takes building, and it takes layering, and it takes being super careful to not layer too much. So I don't like to put in so much work on a daily basis. I don't have a problem with it, but it's, if I can choose, I would not choose this. Please don't forget to subscribe to not miss any of these cool videos. If you want to get any of these NARIMI palettes or any of the others that could be still available on Look Healthy store, make sure you use my code ELLAGRAM to save 12%. I will link these down below so you can directly use them, check them, put them in the cart, and then just, again, don't forget to add the code to save money, because these are not affiliate links, but I have an affiliate code. Which one is your fave? Let me please know down below. And if you don't have a fave or you like them all equal, you can say that, or just to push the algorithm, comment. What can you comment? Oh my god, comment NARIMI. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.